This is Mayor Reid Hamer-Jackson. Now, a lot of concern from some of your residents here after learning that there is an Aboriginal title claim over private lands here. First question is, how long have you known about this?
I just recently learned about it, and I'm very concerned myself. So concerned that I did pick up the phone and I called former Chief Gofferson and had a talk with him. And this has been going on for years. There's been deals made where the government's paid them, the band, certain money, and there's been a lot of things happen. And I think that we really got to get, the Kamloops City Council and the city have had a good relationship with the band, and I've had a relationship with them my whole life. Me and Shane played ball together and things like that when we were kids. And I think that, there's been agreements between the city and to Kamloops that have been going on since, Manny Jules days. They had agreements, and we meet with them. We only meet once a year. I'd like to meet more than once a year, but it's just kind of all pretty new to me.
So what do you think is going to be the solution? I know this is going to take time to know what even happens. Everybody's looking at the appeals in the Cowichan case. But in the meantime, how are your citizens going to learn more about what's happening? Are you guys planning any meetings?
Well, I think we're going to be, I think we'll have meetings, and I think we got to be more open and transparent about what's going on. I don't know why, in Kamloops here we have a lot of closed door meetings, and I'd like them to be open meetings, and let's find out what the end goals are here. Like, what's the end goal? And the province obviously needs to get involved, and probably the federal government. So I think it's imperative that we meet, being open and transparent, and see what's going on, because I've been paying tax on my property for a lot of years. I don't want to lose my property either. No different than many people. What
kind of feedback are you hearing from people around the area, maybe even business owners? Anything?
A lot of concern, yeah. There's a lot of concerns, yeah. A lot of people not knowing. That's the whole thing, is not knowing, it's like myself, I haven't been aware of it, but I did read something where Shane Gofferson, Chief Gofferson, was involved back in 2015. So, and that's why I didn't call anybody else. I called him. I know him. We've known each other forever. He calls me Hammer from, back in the ball days and things like that. So, I think we got a lot of concerns.
Now, it sounds like you have a good relationship with the Kamloops First Nation. There's another First Nation as well involved in this. But if Aboriginal title for some reason ended up meaning that the First Nation band has sort of governing capabilities over private land, what do you think would happen then?
I wouldn't want to guess. I think we're a long ways away from that. Chief Shane, he didn't think I should be that concerned. But again, we don't know. We don't know what's been going on behind closed doors for a lot of years. Like I said, there's been a lot of land deals happen that we didn't even know about. They've been offered lands, and the province has kept lands and things like that. So there's a lot of stuff going on that I don't know about, and so when I do know more, then I can speak more of it. But like I said, we've had a long-standing relationship with the Kamloops, so look forward to continuing that.
Last question: the Richmond City. That city was aware. They were actually, one of the parties in that case. So why is it, do you think, that you found out with everybody else?
I don't know, and maybe our staff knows more. I'm kind of an outsider here as the mayor. I don't know if you know, but
so we've heard.
Certain people didn't elect me. The citizens did, but certain people didn't. So, I don't even have an acting EA. So, and all due to, like I say, false allegations. I've asked for all kinds of emails, texts, open meetings, things like that, of me being a bully or harasser, but I don't get anything. Just over the airwaves. That's all.
You're right. When we were covering an event put on by 1BC, just giving information about the Aboriginal title and what it might mean, there were some citizens pointing to the fact that their own mayor has been blocked, in some ways, from representing them as they've been elected. Here's what they had to say in relation to that, as well as the information of the land claim.
Mayor of our city, he's a very wonderful man. However, he is actually being blocked quite frequently. I don't know if you've looked into what's happening with Kamloops and his lack of freedom of expression.
That's correct.
I'm not sure if he'd have the opportunity to defend or speak anyway. Kamloops is somewhat lacking in democracy at the moment. So.
The council are all against the mayor. I think the mayor's doing an excellent job, but all the council members, they always want to shut him down. Last I heard, he's working out of the basement in City Hall. They won't even allow him to, and I don't know if that's completely true, but that's what I've heard from several people.
Yeah, I've got a group of councillors that didn't vote for me. I got a group of councillors that all elected for themselves to be the deputy mayors and wanting to be the voice of the mayor. There's been the Urban Mayors Caucus pulled rank. It's the mayors of all over the province of 80,000 or more. They pulled rank and said, no, we want to deal with the real mayor. And who really pulled rank was the veterans. The veterans. They wanted to get the first poppy of the year where I got it. They wanted to lay the wreath down at Riverside Park on Remembrance Day, but I didn't, and I can thank the veterans, because the veterans, they fought for democracy, and democracy is being challenged right here in our little city of Kamloops politically, and I think that we really got to pay attention to that, because here these eight councillors all elected themselves to be the mayor in many instances.
Well, there's certainly a lot going on in Kamloops as I come out here. We have another report with the mayor coming up about the increase in crime and restrictions on business being able to thrive due to BC housing developments and similar things in the area. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Drea Humphrey with Rebel News, Mayor Hamer-Jackson.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
At Rebel News, we don't back down from bringing you the other side of the story, even if that means at times there are physical risks to doing so. Yesterday, when I covered a 1BC event, things got a little tricky. So then and today, I've had to have security by my side to make sure myself and my camera person, Julia, are safe. If you appreciate the journalism that we do, please help us cover one of our biggest expenses. That is our security costs. And you can do so by donating what you can at journalistdefensefund.com.